You've probably seen the clip by now, the half-finished humanoid dangling from a crane. Arms flailing, legs kicking like it was glitching its way into the next Terminator movie. Two engineers duck for cover. A desktop PC gets obliterated, and for about 20 seconds the robot just loses its synthetic mind. And no, this wasn't some YouTube prank or CGI hoax. This happened in a real factory. During a live hardware test, the footage was reposted by Nexa, a Belarusian TV outlet who got their hands on security camera footage from inside a Chinese robotics facility. Within hours of going up, the clip went viral, over 100,000 views in the first 4 hours. Comment threads blew up with Skynet jokes, RoboCop memes, and one especially popular take: Sarah Connor was right. One user dropped a gif of ED-209 tumbling downstairs, another compared it to Da Vinci surgical robots, noting how they're just motors and firmware too. But underneath the internet humor was something deeper, and way more serious. Because that robot's tantrum wasn't just a glitch, it was a sign, a red flag that's part of a much bigger story. These robots, they're not just lab toys anymore, they're not confined to sci-fi concepts or behind-the-scenes test benches. They're here, working beside people, on sales floors, in factories, in warehouses. And while they can do incredible things, they can also do this: go rogue. So let's break it down. What actually happened in that viral clip, why it matters, and how this fits into a rapidly shifting world of human-like machines. The clip shows a robot mid-range test, a common procedure where engineers run a bot through different joint movements to calibrate and evaluate its actuators. But this test, it went sideways, fast. The robot was hanging from a construction crane, its frame clearly incomplete, still in the development phase. Below, two engineers stood with tablets in hand, reading out servo IDs, likely monitoring torque and alignment data. It was routine, until suddenly, it wasn't. All at once, every joint on the humanoid spiked, motors surged, arms began flailing in chaotic circles, like windmills in a hurricane. Its feet kicked outward. The robot yanked violently on the suspension cable, which caused its heavy stand, welded to the ground, to skid across polished concrete. A desktop PC got knocked over and smashed. A container of bolts spilled across the floor. The engineers dove away as the crane hook above groaned under the unexpected tension. The whole event lasted maybe 20 seconds, but the impact was massive. A 20-second burst of uncontrolled force, all because the safety envelope wasn't locked down properly. The torque thresholds weren't enforced. The result? Mechanical panic. The kind that reminds everyone watching, if something goes wrong with this level of power, it gets real fast. This wasn't a robot being evil. It was a robot being unsupervised. What makes that clip so haunting isn't just the chaos, it's the context, because that robot freakout isn't some isolated event. It's not just one unlucky factory floor. It's part of a global trend where humanoid robots are stepping into more public, physical, and unpredictable environments. And they're doing it fast. Take what's happening in China this year alone. Pudu Robotics introduced its new D9 unit, a humanoid that can walk at 4.5 meters per second, climb stairs, and take a hip check without falling over. Clone Robotics went viral back in February with a prototype that mimics human musculature using synthetic tendons. The robot flexed its arms and moved with eerie realism. They claim one day it'll cook, clean, and even hold a conversation. The reaction online? Mixed. Tech fans were amazed. Engineers praised the muscle-like motion. But a lot of the public said the same thing. This feels dystopian, like something out of a Black Mirror episode. And then when this rogue robot clip surfaced, that feeling only deepened. Because for all the futuristic promises, it also showed the other side, what happens when that power spins out of control. It was a reality check, broadcast in HD. Now, while that incident set off alarm bells, other companies are fully embracing the rise of humanoids, not in labs, but right in front of customers. Enter Morin. Morin is a full-size humanoid robot designed to work in car showrooms. Specifically, Chery Automotive, a long-standing Chinese car maker, is betting big on this model. And they're not just playing around. They've already deployed one unit in Malaysia, with hundreds more on the way. Morin's appearance is striking. Blonde hair, wraparound sunglasses, a sleek outfit, and carbon fiber fingers. Think mall kiosk meets Blade Runner. But it's not just looks. Morin greets customers, hands out bottled water, and can answer questions about car models and trim packages using a calm, slightly synthetic voice. The sunglasses? Not for fashion. They hide a full surround view camera system that gives Morin 360-degree vision. Each fingertip is embedded with capacitive touch sensors, meaning it can tell when someone taps a brochure or points at a screen. And Chery is serious about scaling. Their president, Zhang Guiying, recently said, "The market for humanoids has more potential than vehicles." That's not a side hustle. That's a full-blown pivot. The partnership with robotics company AIMOA is already producing units. The price? About mid-5 figures. The same ballpark as an entry-level car. but dealers are reportedly getting discounts, and 220 more are expected to hit showrooms in 2025. If Chery is selling humanoids as a vibe, Germany's IG GmbH is going in the opposite direction, pure practicality. Their humanoid IG Rob doesn't walk, doesn't smile, doesn't even pretend to look human. But what it does do is work, efficiently, safely, and for a price that undercuts the competition. Iggy's body is mounted on a platform called Rebel Move, which can roll through factories, offices, and even cafeterias. It can carry 100 kilograms of cargo on top of its own 50-kilogram body, and it runs for 8 straight hours on a single battery pack. The arms? Built from decades of tribology data. That's the science of friction, wear, and lubrication. The result is a robotic worker that never needs greasing, never overheats, and keeps going until the job's done. The price? $47,999, and less than half the rumored price of Tesla's Optimus. Iggy Rob is built from 3 award-winning components: the Rebel Cobalt Arm 2022, the Rebel Hand 2023, and the Rebel Move Base 2024. It's modular, ROS2 compatible, and already being shipped for on-site evaluations. Try it for a month. If it works, you keep it. If not, send it back. Germany's not dreaming. It's delivering. And it's not just megacourse or state-sponsored labs. In California, UC Berkeley is flipping the script by putting humanoid robotics into hobbyists' hands. Their project Berkeley Humanoid Light is a DIY humanoid you can 3D print at home. All the files, software, and instructions are available on GitHub, funded by an NSF grant. The bot is just 0.88 meters tall, about toddler-sized, but it packs 22 cycloidal gearboxes, 10 high-torque actuators, and 12 smaller motors watt, all sourced from Shenzhen. Total parts cost? Around $4,312 in the US, or just $3,236 overseas. It's controlled by a $120 Intel N95 mini PC and runs off a 6-cell LiPo battery for 30 minutes at a time. That might sound underwhelming, but here's the punchline. Berkeley trained the robot entirely in simulation. The walking algorithm was built in virtual space, then transferred directly to real hardware with no hand tuning. The demo clip shows the robot stepping off a table, shrugging its shoulders, writing its initials, stacking foam cubes, and spinning a Rubik's Cube. Reddit had a field day. Some called it the Raspberry Pi moment for humanoids. Others were skeptical, pointing out that 3D printed gear teeth in PLA could break under stress. But that was the whole point. Berkeley doesn't want perfection. They want hundreds of garage tinkerers pushing the design forward. No roadmap, no gatekeeping, just open source momentum. And finally, there's Hyundai, going all in. After buying Boston Dynamics in 2021, Hyundai began integrating the famous Atlas robot, yes, the one that does backflips, into its next-gen factory in Bryan County, Georgia. That site is part of a $21 billion plan to ramp up U.S. electric vehicle production. Atlas isn't there for stunts. It's being prepped to help build 300,000 vehicles a year by navigating the same factory environments designed for human workers. Atlas can walk over conveyor belts, climb stairs, and move through tight areas where fixed machines can't go. This means Hyundai doesn't need to redesign plants. They just need to reprogram bots, saving time and millions in construction costs. Labor unions are watching closely, worried about job displacement, but Hyundai says these robots will increase safety and uptime, not replace everyone. Imagine a 2026 assembly line, one human managing 3 Atlas units and a dozen ABB arms, all moving in sync. That's not fiction, that's the blueprint. So here we are. Robots are in the showroom, serving customers. They're on the factory floor, assembling cars. And in California garages, people are building their own. And sometimes, they're throwing a full-on tantrum in the middle of a test. That 20-second freakout wasn't just a viral moment. It was a snapshot of where we are, and a warning about where we're headed. Because when you push machines this powerful, this intelligent, and this autonomous into the real world, your safety systems better be airtight. There's no undo button once a bot goes rogue. We're not in the prototype phase anymore. We're in deployment. So the question isn't if this tech will change everything, it's how fast, and at what cost. Because if a robot can already greet customers, build cars, and yes, lash out mid-test, what happens when the next one doesn't stop? What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this video interesting, make sure you hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more of these kinds of videos. Thanks for watching.